guys, welcome back to another coffee and conversation style video. I'm Roxana, the creator of the blog and YouTube channel acquaintlife.com, and this is our third coffee and conversation style video in this series, and today we're going to get a little bit deep and talk about single parenthood or single motherhood. Now, the topic for this was chosen after the very first Coffee and Conversations video that I put out, where I explained how I became a single parent myself. And if you missed that one, I'll go ahead and link it below so you could check that out and have a little bit more insight into my story if you're interested. After that one aired, I got a few emails. I actually got an email just the other day, and that's what spurred the idea to talk about this on this next one here. I'm not going to be answering any specific questions any of them had, just really talking about single parenting, giving my experience and a bit of wisdom I feel that I could impart on people that are newly single parents, or just maybe give you a better perspective and some encouragement as well. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed today's coffee and conversation. A few things I'm going to say today are both real. I think this is going to be a very real talk, and I'm going to give my opinion on something that I find to be a very big problem with single parents or newly single parents, or even parents that have been single parents for a while and just have not adjusted well. And I think it should be said, our perspective is everything in life. How we deal with things, how we go through things in life is always about how we see it and what our perception is of that. So let's talk about that first. You have to have the proper mindset in order for you to be able to move forward in a healthy, positive way, whether that's a divorce, a breakup, a death. Our perspective is everything. When we're looking at the job of parenting, is one of the biggest roles we could have in our lives is to be somebody's parent, right? And not only do our children watch us and how we deal with life, they watch all of those things, but then at the same time, they're also learning how to deal with their own lives through us. And so, yes, there are an extra set of eyes as a parent on us at all times that we need to always be aware of, but also for ourselves to be able to move forward, we have to get to a place of acceptance. So if you're somebody that's maybe newly divorced, or you had a breakup happen and now your kids have, no father or mother in the home, if you're a man watching this video, I know it happens on both sides, where we're sitting here in this state of shock or depression, or we start thinking things like, my children don't have something now, or there's a lack in the home. When it happened to me, one of my very earliest thoughts was, my daughter isn't going to suffer from this. Yes, there's a death. Yes, she's lost her father, and there's a loss and a grief there, absolutely. But her childhood will remain good, healthy. She'll be in a loving home, and she has one parent. And I honestly think that if you just have one parent that loves you and supports you and is there for you, I think that you have so much more than a lot of other people in this world have. Okay, so my light went out there at the tail end of that, but I'm just going to keep filming. It's hard to tell in the camera if you can see me very well or not, but I'm just going to keep filming and get this out to you, and hopefully you can still see me. But just going off of what I was saying is that having that one loving, supportive parent, and you're still their parent, whether or not that person lives with you or not, you're still a parent, and you can still create an environment that is loving and good. And I think that just having that right mindset of, I'm not a victim, I don't need this other person to create this type of childhood for my kids, I can create that on my own, and I'm enough on my own. And I just want to address that, because I've seen so many people just get stuck in, why did this happen to me? This shouldn't have happened to me. And it's not a good mindset to have, because it keeps you from enjoying your children. It keeps you from wanting to create that childhood and being that parent that you always saw yourself as, because you're too busy thinking about how this shouldn't have happened. Getting to a place of acceptance, I think, is key. We need to get rid of the idea that anything is lacking in any of our homes. Surely we can provide a loving home. Surely we can provide support and create an environment of love on our own. And there is nothing lacking here. If we could get rid of the thought that something is lacking because there's not another person in the house or a significant other in the house, I think we could really then move on and just thrive in our homes and thrive as parents. And I think it really takes that mindset going back to that, because I do see a lot in my personal life. I see a lot of people sort of out searching constantly for another significant other, and this becomes this goal for them that they need to get remarried, they need to have someone else in the home, and they have a hard time being alone. And we need to get that idea out of our head. Nobody needs to be here other than us, our children and us, and that's okay. And if somebody new comes along, that's wonderful, let that happen, but don't go out in the world and feel like somebody else has to be here in order for you to be full or for your home life to be full and healthy, because that is definitely not true. And keeping on that note, that you are what your children need. If you can decide that when the person moves out, if they've already moved out, or if they've passed on, or if you've moved out, that you are still the same person, the same parent you've always been towards your children, it will keep a sense of normalcy there. Still eating dinner together, still spending time together, still letting them know that you are their parent and that you're there for them, keeps that rhythm flowing in the home. That even if you're changing your environment as far as the home goes, or even if the other person moves out, that you are still the same person, and everything, there's still a sense of normalcy going on. Yes, there's a transition phase, but I really think it's going to help you and your children through what otherwise might be a more difficult phase, because you've decided that you're still going to make dinner, you're still going to sit down with them, you're still going to have quality time and love on them, and even give extra love at these times, right? And make that a priority. And I think that helps with the transition. Absolutely so. There is a lot of love in our home. We're very close, and this didn't just happen. This was a decision to put our life and our home and my role as her mother as a priority in my life. And as a result of that has been this beautiful relationship that has just grown so deeply between me and my daughter. We've always been close when she was little, but when there's another parent there, there's kind of two parents giving that love, right? And with me and her, it's been very much of a almost a bonding, even further experience for us, because we went through something really hard together and we came out of it, and it just has really helped us to know each other even better, have a deeper understanding, have a deeper level of communication. And that's all because that time that has been spent there. And so you can have the same things with your children. It is there for you to just decide that this is my priority. I've had to also put a lot of things on the back burner, because when you're making all the decisions as that single parent and you're trying to maintain a home and meals on the table, and you have to bring an income in, whether you work out of the home or you work from home like myself, you still have to work and be that breadwinner. And so we have all these different hats on as that single parent, but it's still doable. And I want to really encourage you that there is normalcy to it. There is a lot of love that can be provided in the home, and that you can do all of those things. You just have to have that decision in your mind, and that is your priority from here on out. For me, I've had to cut back on friends. I mean, I do have friends now, but all of my friends know that my priority is to be with my daughter. So if I'm going on vacation, she's coming with me. If I'm going out to dinner, she's coming with me. And that and the right people will be completely fine with that, by the way. If you have friends that are like, oh, you're bringing your kids again, well, then maybe get some new friends. Being a single parent might have you having to plan things a little bit more than you maybe did before. Things like dinner or family nights, or having to just have the house running better. But this is where your kids and you can kind of work together to maybe create a chore chart to help mom out if your kids are old enough, and just work together as a team to get things done in your home. It doesn't have to all fall on you. I love the idea of even younger children, 4 or 5 years old, a lot of times will help pick up their toys or do what they can to help you. And I think that looking at your children and saying we're a team and we're going to work together, and I think that that is super helpful to single parents out there, because I think a lot of times we think everything falls on us and the kids are over here playing, when we're in reality we can work as teams with our children depending on how old they are. But like I said, as young as 4 or 5, they can definitely help by picking up their toys, and children love to help anyway. I find that my daughter, whenever I give her a new thing to try to help me with, whether that's washing the dishes in the in the morning after breakfast, that's something that's new that she's been doing, she feels so proud of herself and she's so happy to help me. So I know that other children are that way, so you'd be surprised how helpful your children could be in this situation. Whatever your situation is, whether you're divorced, going to go through a divorce or a breakup, or maybe you're a widow like myself, I hope that my words today help encourage you, or maybe just give you a fresh perspective on this new challenge in your life. And I hope that you're able to embrace it a little bit more. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any thoughts or comments, please leave them below. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you on the next Coffee and Conversation.